Hey guys, it's Denny here from Angel Handmade Papercraft. Today I am sharing with you a colouring for time for tea design using the blooming lovely Flutterfly. I forgot to turn the camera on for the skin colouring, so I've just popped that up there for you. I used E000, E00, E21, E11, E04 and R20. My son was actually sick the week that I was actually colouring this video. That's why I didn't write everything down. I haven't written down any of the other colours either, so we'll just have to try and pick them up from the camera recording. So I'm just starting by adding the base layer down. So I'm just using the lightest colour, and then I'll go in with my darkest colour and start adding the shadows in. Sorry guys, just have to turn the heater on. It's freezing here at the moment. So I'm going in, adding all of that darkest colour in, and then I will go in with the next darkest colour, and then I'll work my way back to the lightest and then use the lightest one to blend it all in. My words are not working again today. My purple markers are not the best ones to be blending. Sometimes you need to use the tip to tip technique just to get the right colour with those. But I am working my way through. Sometimes you just got to work that little bit harder with them, that's all. So I'm just going back in, adding a little bit more of that darkest colour in, just trying to get them to the blend to the colour that I was after. So just working my array around one petal at a time. Sometimes it's not the most exciting thing sitting there watching somebody colour, but this is the way that I learnt. I've never had any lessons done. I've never actually in person seen somebody else using Copic markers. Everything that I have done and do is completely self-taught. It is possible. You don't need to do all that. Don't get me wrong, it can refine your technique. There's a lot of awesome designers out there who are a lot better than what I am. There is classes online that you can do as well, which have the videos, and they walk you through each of those steps. Like a fellow friend of mine, Elise from Kitten Clouder. So Elise is a fellow Aussie. She does some fantastic classes using both Copic markers, pencils, watercolors, you name it. She pretty much runs classes on all of them. She's just a fantastic designer, and she's got a design background as well, which helps her out a little bit. But please, if you are looking for classes, drop on by her page. Make sure that you mention that I sent you along. And yeah, I still don't have the full collection of Copic markers. There's a few that I just haven't found yet that I have needed, like some of the 4-0 markers and things like that. I'm not far off, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of markers that I also don't use that are in my collection. Normally because I seem to find, sort of certain markers in a colour family that I'm comfortable with, that I seem to grab every time I go to colour, like the R markers 81, 83, 85 is my pink kind of combo. And then the blues, depending on whether you want a lighter blue or a darker blue, I'll go B91, B93, B95, and then I'll add 97 and 99 if I want a darker blend, or I'll leave them off if I want a lighter blend. These are the things that I generally go to when I go to pick colours within those colour families. So I am trying to branch out at the moment. As you can see, this is the second video this week using the purple markers. I don't know if I used the same ones because I didn't actually write these ones down, but You know, sometimes you need to go out of your comfort zone, so that's what I'm trying to do. So this is a very long video today. It's almost half an hour, so please stick with me. If you are not interested in watching all the way through, maybe just skip bits and pieces. But of course, I would love you to stick around and watch the whole thing. Don't forget to hit like at the end of the video. That helps my videos come to the top of the YouTubes. And also to hit subscribe. I'm up to 130-ish subscribers at the moment, which is pretty bloody fantastic and very, very exciting for me. I never thought I would get this far. My son actually said to me this morning, "Mum, you'll almost be at 1,000 soon." I said, "Yeah, babe, that's a long way off yet," but he's very excited and he believes in me and says, you know, that I can do it. And he's only 10 years old, but he's a great kid. Always helping out my self-esteem and things. He was very, very excited when he was able to become, I think he was the 100th subscriber. When he noticed I was at 99, he's like, "Whoa, I'm going to be your 100th subscriber." And he ran into his room so he could do it before anybody else did. So he's adorable. What can we do? So we're not too far off finishing all of those petals. Just trying to get everything to blend just the way that I would like it. Keep in mind that this is still wet as well, so it will dull down just a slight little bit and blend a little bit more once it's dry. You won't notice so much all of those darker areas. Just finishing up the last few touches, one more petal to go. Now, I used to have these videos sped up a lot more. I know that it's very, very draining watching the colouring when it goes for so long, but I had quite a few messages saying to me, "Please slow down your videos, it's way too fast." So I have done that, but look, if you would like me to start cutting the videos apart again and doing one colouring video and one of the card process video, please let me know. I have been trying to combine them and just cut them down a little bit, just so that it is all in one video, but it's very difficult when it's an image like this that is so detailed. It takes so long to colour it all up, but the end result is just amazing. Alright, so that is the purple done. I'm now going to go in with just some of those really light V markers and colour the centre of the flower. And I'm going to add some dotted detailing with one of the darker markers just to make it just that little bit fuzzier on the centre of the flower. I've been trying to get a bit of work done in the last couple of days because my husband's got a medical appointment tomorrow, so that's one less day that I get to be able to do my stuff, you know, in between groceries and cleaning. And this is our extras week where we have the stepkids as well, so you know, just trying to keep on top of everything, making sure all the school clothes are washed and dried and put away, and you know, all that sort of stuff. And then trying to, of course, leave some time in there for the husband as well. And I actually had to take my engagement ring into the jeweler yesterday or the day before. I had actually squashed the back of it somehow. I think maybe when I was moving my craft room around, I picked something up heavy and it's actually squashed the back of my engagement ring. So he wasn't very happy with me, but thankfully we had a care plan on it, so they are fixing it for free. Thank you, Michael Hill. So getting all that fixed up. Obviously the ring's on my finger in this video because the video was done quite a few weeks ago. I've been so stuck for time that I haven't been able to edit any of my videos. So I did have one go up yesterday. I will endeavour to try and have this one up today. And then I will try and edit one more to go up tomorrow. And then of course we've got all our design team releases on the weekend. And I'm hoping to have some videos done for those as well. I am on a couple of design teams at the moment, which is very, very exciting. I'm very, very lucky to be able to do that. It is a lot of workload, but do you know what? It's worth it. Every time I color an image and make a card, and I get all the beautiful comments that you guys leave on my videos and on my Instagram and on my Facebook. It just makes it all worth it. This is what I love doing. This is my space. This is where I go to, I use my creativity to take my mind off of things. This is just my time. Some people will sit and watch TV for hours, whatever. I would love to sit and colour for hours. Everybody just leave me alone and just let me colour. That's all I want to do. So as you can see in the background, we are colouring up all of the leaves, getting ready to start on the mushrooms. Just cleaning up my markers in between using the alcohol wipes. Just giving them a quick wipe over. And starting up on the mushrooms, I'm using some of the dark red markers for the mushrooms. Every time I see mushrooms in an image, I always think red mushrooms. Obviously, you go outside right now, if there's any mushrooms in your garden from the moisture, they're never red. They're never red. I would love to go out and see red and white mushrooms growing in my garden. How cool would that be? But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. Reality is our mushrooms are brown, or they're like a whitey caramel color. They are definitely not red and white. If they were red and white, I'm sure we would see little pixies and things running in our garden too, but we don't. So just working my way through. We are not far from the halfway mark of the video, so thank you for sticking with me and listening to me blabber on. It's got to be more exciting than me talking my way through the colouring process. There's not much to it. It's just very basic. Just remembering to make sure that you're keeping the marker straight up and down. That helps you to use the tip of the marker, especially in these very, very fine areas. As you can see, some of the red still did bleed into those white areas of the mushrooms. Unfortunately, that happens with red markers. There's not much that you can do about that. Alright, so I'm just adding a little bit of grey onto those white sections of those mushrooms just to give them a little bit of detail as well, and then just going back, blending it all out. And they're starting to look a little more detailed and real and 3D and all of those things. So just working my way through, and then just finally using the Zero Color Blender to blend that out. Adding some ground to the image. And then blending it out when I was done. And now I decided to add some purple into the butterfly just to help bring out the purple in the butterfly, in the flower. And then I'm going to add some nice yellow blends to the rest of the butterfly. And I decided to add some dotted detail onto the butterfly as well. Alright, so that is the butterfly and the flower pretty much done. Just colouring up those last few little bits and bobs. Alright, just fixing that up. So I decided that I'm going to give her some little red shoes and a red dress. So I'm going to colour those up. I'm using the same markers that I used on the mushrooms just because they were on my desk already and I thought it would make it all a little matchy-matchy. So just working my way through the colours. I didn't do a base layer down with the red because I didn't want to oversaturate it and cause it to start bleeding, which red markers like to do. Oh, wrong one. Almost put purple in the dress, that was lucky. So just going through and blending all of that dress out. Looking gorgeous. Just fixing up a little bit where the dress just bled into the flower just a tiny little bit. So I've just used the V marker to fix that up. Now we're going to work on her hair. I'm just trying to work out what markers I was wanting to use on her hair. So I'm going to go with a brown blend. So just working my way through with the darkest marker first, popping all of the shadows in. Again, when you're using the flicking technique, make sure that your marker is up, straight up and down. It helps you use the tip of the marker to make sure that you've got very fine lines. So just working my way through very carefully. Turning the image as I go, depending on which way that I am flicking. Usually if I prefer to flick towards myself, so I will move the image around so that I am flicking to myself. Right, so I've got about 10 minutes left of this video today, so I'm just finishing up the hair and then I will go into the card process. Card process is pretty basic. I didn't do a lot to this card today. Alright, so now I'm going back in with the next lightest colour, and I'm just starting to bring those strokes out into the image a little bit more. working my way through from darkest to lightest. Just about to get down to the last of the colours. Gently flicking those in now and making sure that they are blended together. Just about done, just finishing up now. Alright, so now moving on to the card process. I am using the My Favorite Things stitched wonky rectangles to cut the image. Running that through my Sizzix Big Shot. And the papers are from the Party with Amy Locurto 6x6 paper pad. And the sentiments are also from that paper pad. I've just cut them off one of the sheets. And I've popped one of the sentiments up using some foam tape. I'm just using some washi tape just to make sure that that doesn't move. I wouldn't want it to move after all that hard work of 20-ish minutes of colouring. Well, that's what you guys say anyway. It was probably more like an hour. Just setting those pieces of washi aside so that I can use them on another die. Just trying to work out what I'm going to do. So I'm going to cut a piece. I'm trying to keep the rainbow within the paper, but it's just not going to happen by the look of it. So I'm just going to cut that up using my Caterpillar Pro. And then I will adhere everything using my Scotch ATG gun. Just realised the jumper that I've got on in the video I've actually got on today, so it almost looks the same. And I've got pink nails again. Woohoo! So I'm trying to use some of the leftovers from my pattern paper pad there, but nothing seemed to fit where I wanted it to fit. So I didn't actually use the ones that I wanted to use, but I did use some of them on the inside of the card. So this is where I'm just trying to find a sentiment on that page there that's got all of the different sayings and stuff, and then I'm just going to cut two of them apart to make them fit onto my card. So I'm just using the banner up the top left hand corner there, and then I'm using the happy place. That's me sneaking chocolate, trying not to get caught on the video, but obviously I didn't do a very good job of that, did I? There must be chocolate on your desk when you're working at all times. It's just a necessity. So I'm using my EK Success Cutter B scissors to very, very carefully cut that all out. I love these scissors because they're super sharp. They've got a great pointy end, which makes it perfect for cutting out small areas and fussy cutting. Sorry you can't see that on video. I needed to make sure that they were nice and close to my face so I could see exactly what I was doing. So just making sure that I cut out that banner nice and straight, and then I'm going to pop it up with some foam tape. So we're about 5 minutes out from the end of the video, guys, so please stick with me just that little bit longer. So I'm going to use some of this purple pattern cardstock to pop behind the layer that I've already cut out. I'm just going to make it just a little bit bigger just to give a border underneath between the pattern sheet that I've already got and the white card. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to slide that in there. I'm going to adhere everything using Scotch ATG and pop up that blue sentiment with the foam tape. I think I used the Scotch 3M foam mounting tape. So I did cut it nice and thin, and I've taken the back layer off to be able to maneuver it just the way that I wanted. So guys, just got emails coming through there. Just starting to adhere everything. Popping all of my layers down. Popping on some Nouveau Crystal drops just to finish off my card. Now, please do what I say, not as I do. Make sure that you set it aside and let it dry overnight, preferably. I have a habit of knocking them and ruining them every time. Anyway, that's it, guys. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope to see you all soon. Bye.